Last week, I did a video on the best possible team in Mario Sluggers. So naturally, this week, I'm doing one on the worst team in Mario Sluggers. This is pretty much just going to be the opposite of what I did last week. We're going to go through the team, my worst possible team, and evaluate each player and possible alternates that I could add. So to be a bad player in this game, you need to not have the two big stats, which are batting and pitching. So if you can't hit and you can't pitch, then you are a bad player pretty much. And that's pretty much what I judged on my tier list. The bottom two ranks were filled mostly with characters who couldn't hit or pitch. So that's mostly what we're going to be evaluating, and those are the characters we're going to look through, of course with a few exceptions, but that's mostly the criteria for being a bad player. So to start, we need a captain. Captains in this game are, in general, really good. So it's tough finding a bad captain, but I think Diddy Kong is the easy pick as the worst captain. Though you could also make an argument for Wario because most players can catch his star swing pretty easily. But still, Diddy Kong is a terrible hitter, so I'm going to pick him. And someone else in the Kong clan that I'm going to pick is Dixie Kong. I think she is the second worst. I think she's probably the worst Kong. Maybe you could pick Tiny Kong, but I'm going to go with Dixie because she can't hit even more so than Tiny Kong. And I'm going to try to minimize chemistry in this list, and especially I'm going to try not to have an outfield with all chemistry. So all chemistry chains have to be less than 3. So I would pick Dixie and Tiny, but I'm going to pick a team that no matter where you organize the fielders, they're going to be bad. So if you could organize the team to have a good outfield with all chemistry, then that's not going to be good. So I'm just going to go with Diddy and Dixie in the Kongs for now. And next we're going to turn our attention to the babies. Obviously, I would choose 2 or 3 out of the 5 babies if I wasn't thinking about chemistry, but Baby Mario and Baby Luigi, while they're both bad, that would be a great start to an outfield. So I'm just going to choose the worst out of them, which is Baby Luigi. He is an okay outfielder, but he really can't hit. And his super jump makes him okay in the field, but I think he's the worst baby and a pretty obvious choice here. Next, we're going to turn our attention to the Toads, because Toadsworth is a very obvious choice, and he is the worst character in the game, in my opinion. He is an okay pitcher, but awful at everything else. He's one of the worst hitters in the game, probably the worst fielder in the game, and he's really slow. And even at pitching, he's not that much better than the average member of a team. I don't think I would pitch him over Dixie Kong or Diddy Kong in most scenarios. But he is gimmicky, so that is a little bit of value. But still, he's probably the worst character in the game. And someone else, another Toad that isn't very good is Toadette. Definitely a little bit better than Toadsworth, but still a terrible hitter. So I'm going to choose her on the team. They have chemistry, but I think that's okay. So we're going with Toadette and Toadsworth on the team. And so we have, I think, 4 more slots to fill. So we're going to take a look at the Bowser's Minions, which are a group that is has some of the worst characters in the game. I'm talking about Shy Guy, Monty, Paragoomba, Goomba, Koopa, and Paratroopa. So you could actually fill the rest of the team with alternate Shy Guys, and that could work. But I think that's kind of boring. And the Shy Guys are decent hitters, so I wouldn't want to have a team with 5 Shy Guys. I think that'd be a little bit too good. So instead, we're going to look at Monty Mole. Not the worst character in the game, as I said in my earliest tier list, but he is still F tier in my opinion, and he would belong on the worst team, I'd say. So now that we have Monty, I could pick Goomba here, but that would give chemistry with Monty. And Goomba, to be honest, is another okay pitcher with Baldash in the field. So I wouldn't have him as my first choice on this team. Though I think you could go either way with Monty and Goomba. But I'm going to go with Monty instead for now. I think he's a little bit worse. And along with Monty, I could go also Paragoomba, but someone that doesn't have chemistry with Monty is Paratroopa. Paratroopa is definitely worse than Koopa. Koopa has a 6 hitting and Paratroopa has a 4 out of 10 hitting. I've only hit a homer with Paratroopa in a game once ever, so I think I'm going to go with both of the Paratroopa alternates here. They don't have chemistry with each other and they don't have chemistry with Monty. They're okay fielders because they do have floating ability and super jump, but their hitting is just so abysmal and they're not that fast, so I really think they're just mediocre in any part in the field and terrible at bat. So they're a good addition to the team along with Monty. And now we have one more slot to fill. It's tough because everyone else is like definitely better than the team we have so far. You could choose Shy Guy and then go with Goomba and Paratroopa if you want to have as little chemistry as possible. Instead though, I'm going to go with Noki and prioritize lack of hitting here, because Noki is really just an awful hitter, but she is actually okay in the field with her ability to catch Peach's Star Swing and her Ball Dash ability. So, she's probably the best character on this team, maybe aside from Diddy, but I think her lack of hitting and her lack of chemistry with anyone on the team is enough to make her deserve a spot here. So the final team is Diddy, Dixie, Toadsworth, Toadette, Baby Luigi, Noki, Monty Mole, and 2 Paratroopas. And I think no matter what way you arrange this team in the field, they're going to be awful. Put whoever at pitcher. That you don't have a really great pitcher, you don't have an amazing outfield combination, and obviously they're all bad hitters. They have a little bit of chemistry, but still not that much, so the lineup is going to be awful as well. And of course you could substitute in Shy Guys if you wanted, maybe one of the Toads with mediocre hitting as well. Substitute someone else for Toadette or Noki. I think that's fair. I didn't even really talk about the Miis because I think they're okay, but you could probably put a Mii in there who doesn't have chemistry with anyone, maybe Orange Mii, and that Mii would be pretty useless. Also, I mentioned earlier you could substitute Wario in for Diddy, and that way you'd have one fewer chemistry link, though you would have an 8 out of 10 hitter on your side in Wario. So there's obviously a lot that could be changed, and let me know what you personally would change in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.